The UnPodcast is brought to you by Emma. Get more from your email marketing.
In a world where QR codes kill kittens and customer service is an oxymoron, one podcast has set out to make things right. This is the UnPodcast with your hosts, Scott Stratten and Allison Kramer.
You're making such a serious face. I'm concerned.
It's because the music was ending, and we're like...
Yeah, I was also concerned there.
Yeah, were you concerned? He was staring right at you,
yeah,
Wayne. So
what'd I do?
What did he do?
Sorry, it's a serious broadcast. That's what people.
Is it?
That's what people listen for. Our hard-hitting news.
I don't think that's what they
slightly
listen for.
delayed because of when we record this. Can the camera see my legs?
Don't believe him if
That's
he
what
says
you were
no.
thinking the whole time, wasn't it?
You shouldn't believe him if he says no, because one day...
I'm wearing shorts.
No, but
so.
one day I didn't wear shoes. And
Hard-hitting newscast with shorts.
I'm talking.
Sorry.
I was wearing shoes. I wasn't wearing shoes, and I asked, are my feet going to be in it? My foot was in the shot. My foot.
Well, your foot was raised up there.
I don't want my feet on YouTube.
Was it your
I don't want to
left one?
attract that kind of audience.
My left foot.
You can see your knees.
I'm wearing running shoes.
If you watch the video, you're going to see Scott's
Mind
naked
you,
knees.
I'm wearing running shoes because I am a runner.
You are a runner. It's my baby. Mm-hmm. He is. Don't laugh.
Hell hath frozen over.
Yeah. He's a better runner than I am, so.
12 5Ks in the bank.
You know what's great? When you run for 20 years and then your partner starts running, does something to 5K or whatever it is, and then all of a sudden he's a better runner than you. It's great. It's fantastic. 20 years. It's fine. It's not a big deal. I'm proud of him.
And I hate every single step.
I'm so proud of you when you're so far ahead of me.
But
It's
afterwards, I like it.
It's all about the afterwards.
Yeah. Did we ever talk about that on the show? You guys?
That you're a runner?
No, but what the app we use?
I don't think
Since
you
we
did.
talk about tech and marketing stuff, it was, you need some you just can't start running. You need Forrest Gump.
Unless something's chasing you.
Yeah, unless something's
Then
chasing
start
you.
running.
Yeah, please. But it was like the couch
You
to 5K.
can't just start running.
No, you just start run, and just start going like Forrest Gump it there and back. And a guy at softball 2 weeks ago called me Forrest Gump because of the beard and stuff. It was very funny.
Yeah.
And then I killed him. Yeah. So it's like called 0 to 5K, which is over 8 weeks. It brings you from the couch to running 5K. And
Yeah.
so I said, well, okay, I'll give it a shot. And it's 3 days a week, preferably spaced out over the week. And we finally did it. And
20 years. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine with it.
now it's every other day 5K, which is the name of the app. It doesn't exist. Every other day 5K. And now, yeah, it's just something we do. So if you guys have the Nike Run Plus app, feel free to add Scott Stratten to it.
Don't add me. I don't want running friends. It's enough that Scott's a faster runner than me. I don't need to see all of you guys running past
because
me.
I'm leading this week, or last week. So just saying.
Is there a 20-year run app?
No.
0 to 5K
not.
over 20 years.
There's not.
Today,
There's not.
3 steps.
He's just killing me.
Next week,
Yeah.
12 steps. 27 steps. Just keep going. Thanks, everybody, for coming on the show and listening and hanging out and doing what you do. We always appreciate you guys, but not as much as we appreciate Emma. Do we appreciate Emma more than the listeners? Let's be
No.
honest. Yes.
No.
Yeah, privately, yes.
No. I appreciate the listeners the most.
But between you and me,
No.
we appreciate Emma more.
No, we don't.
Because they give us money.
We appreciate our listeners the most.
We don't pay our mortgage on listeners.
Yes,
right?
actually, we do.
No, but we have 7 of them. We can have more for dinner and still have spots at the table.
You know what? You were joking around last time because you were talking about reviews and you said, the number one thing that we get asked, the number one thing that people say when I meet them and they listen to the podcast, I am one of your 7 listeners. I think I've had 500 people say, Hey, Allison, I'm one of your 7 listeners. Start keeping track.
See? It works. You
Yeah,
start getting
it does.
themes in there, and it is 7. So we've met all 7 of you 500 times. So people in San Francisco came up and said hi at the event, and they're listeners, that's probably one of the best things about it, right? Is just people come up and say they listen.
Yeah, it's cool.
They're usually always they're the most dedicated fans too, right? The ones who listen weekly, and somebody's catching up. They just listened to the charity water episode, and then they'll go through all of them. It's a lot of episodes because we're coming up to 200.
We are.
It's almost 4 years of shows. We're going to have a good time with episode
party.
200. So I know some of you were here for episode 100, which sold out in 6 minutes. And by sold out, we mean free tickets. was sold out. We packed the room, did a Def Leppard in the Round show, which we will not be doing again because Scott cannot focus well on a good day, let alone
with an audience
people
behind
swiveling
him.
around him. So he's talking to them and not you, our fine listener, who supports us and we like almost as much as Emma.
We might as well have filled the room with puppies.
Yeah, really. Really.
That's how focused Scott was.
That's exactly what it was. But now that we have a newly expanded venue here at the studio, we might put us on the stage and have rows of seats as well.
That'd be great.
So stay tuned to that. And if you want one of the tickets, maybe let us know. We're not going to give it to you, but it's nice to hear you want one. So we can probably fit 100 in here, yeah?
I think so.
Probably.
Yeah.
And we're going to have stuff
Was
to
that
give
the
away.
end of the sentence?
Yeah, that was
Stuff
it.
and things.
That was
We're
the
gonna
incentive.
have-
We're going to have things.
We're going to have things.
What we gave away last time? Books and Emma swag.
Yeah.
Maybe have a couple pairs of socks and mugs. We're running out, so.
We should have like a 7 listeners, what Wayne just said.
Yeah.
Like I'm one of the 7 listeners or something.
Right, yes!
It was actually Wayne's idea.
Was
So I'm
it?
just going to say
Was it Wayne's idea?
Wayne said it and I repeated it louder.
I didn't hear it.
Always my idea.
Oh.
Yeah, it was his idea.
Oh, it's
So you
about-
see what just happened? That's called giving someone credit when they
Yeah.
have the idea, not just saying it louder and then saying that you...
I think we should make shirts that says, I'm one of the 7 listeners. Copyright Scott.
Magnificent 7.
Yeah, right? Thank you. I was about to say, you're not only beautiful, but brilliant, but it was Wayne's idea.
Yeah.
Wayne, you're not only beautiful, but you're brilliant. So there you go.
Thanks.
So we're going to do that. But we're running out of mugs and socks. Like Adam's still waiting for a couple mugs he asked for. He's not getting them. Right? Yeah. If Adam can't get them, then everybody has a better shot than him. I think pretty much. Mind you, because he won't stop typing in the background when we're doing the show. And I'm kidding. I haven't heard it in months, but I thought I'd bring it up. Adam's an easy target because he's nice. Wayne has now been in our house, so
I think Adam's been in our house.
Would pick on Kathy, but I think she could beat me
No,
in a
I
street
don't think
fight.
we should pick on
She could
Kathy.
literally probably kill me in a street fight.
Yeah,
I think
she's
with one
tough.
shot.
And
Yeah.
she is like a big football player's son, too. So if you ever made it through Kathy, you probably wouldn't make it much further.
Kathy's docks are bigger than yours. I would.
Yeah,
that's
totally.
true. Yeah,
Totally.
you are the wind beneath my wings. Yeah, you are the wind beneath my wings. Fly high.
Are we going to read
on
a
with the
story
show.
today?
If you're still with us, by the way, and if you're a new listener, because we got an influx of listeners because we paid for them using Facebook advertising. If you're here, this is how it usually goes. So you're welcome. If you don't like it, scram. This is from Gizmodo.com. 22,000 people agree to clean toilets for Wi-Fi because they didn't read the terms.
I love this
This
story.
is one of my favorite stories we've done in a long time. Tim Berners-Lee,
Look at the image.
Tim Berners-Lee, the father of the World Wide Web, listed his top worries for the future of his creation earlier this year. One of the biggest concerns is the increasingly dense terms of service agreements that companies ask users to sign. Now, a public Wi-Fi company has demonstrated just how dangerous those complicated agreements can be by inserting absurd conditions that thousands of people unwittingly agreed to. Purple is a Manchester-based company that specializes in running Wi-Fi hotspots for brands like Legoland, Outback Steakhouse, and Pizza Express. This week, the company came clean about its 2-week experiment, in which it inserted a, quote, community service clause into its terms of service agreement. More than 22,000 people signed up to perform 1,000 hours of menial labor for the chance to check in on their Facebook and maybe look up some directions. In a blog post on its site, a Purple spokesperson explains that the agreement requires users to do any of the following at Purple's discretion: cleansing local parks of animal waste, providing hugs to stray cats and dogs, manually relieving sewer blockages, cleaning portable lavatories at local festivals and events, painting snail shells to brighten up their existence, or scraping chewing gum off the streets. There was also a prize offer for anyone who contacted the company and pointed out the clause. Only one person received the
Isn't
prize.
that incredible?
It's unclear if Purple would even be illegally allowed to enforce the clause, but it says it won't even try. This was simultaneously a campaign to raise awareness about the necessity of reading the terms of service, and a marketing stunt to announce that Purple is the first Wi-Fi provider to be compliant under the new General Data Protection Regulation. The GDPR guidelines will become enforceable on May 25th, 2018 for countries that are part of the EU. The new regulations are intended to simplify terms and conditions as well as provide more transparency for consumers to understand how their personal data will be used. Here in the U.S., fancy consumer protections are the anathema to freedom and capitalism, so you might want to be careful. Which one of those choices is the worst? I'm thinking the festival toilets.
Sewage. Blockages.
That's got to be festival toilets.
Festival toilet sounds.
Sewage blockages.
Festival toilets. No. You've seen festival toilets?
Have you seen sewage blockages?
Oh, easy, but it's one thing.
Festival toilets are a sewage block.
Yeah, festival toilets are just a cornucopia of crapulence. Like it's not even. Oh God, yeah. Sewage is one spot.
I just want to paint snail shells.
Yeah,
I
to
think
make the
that's
world a
good
bright.
one.
I want to hug the stray cats and dogs.
But we brought this up before. Have you ever read the complete terms and services
No.
of anything?
Never.
I've never read the
Adam?
first paragraph.
Yeah.
The whole
Not
thing.
Very often.
You've read the full. You lie like a rug.
I read contracts.
You really didn't say a contract, though. I said like when you say connect to the Wi-Fi at the airport,
no, good.
agree to terms and services or not. Yeah, contracts, yes. We read 1 out of 10 of contracts we get. But a terms of service, like signing up for this or downloading this software.
I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, I love what the EU's
Yeah,
done
it's
with
great
this
what
too,
they did.
right? To simplify it, make it make sense. So that was smart.
So this is from TheVerge.com, and actually, so they're talking about Roombas. So Roombas, like from iRobot, it's like a little vacuum cleaner that goes around your house. And we actually have a fantastic chapter in the new book about the poop Roomba.
That we talked about a few months ago.
Poopocalypse,
Yeah.
that we talked about a few months ago. So it says over the past couple of years, Roombas haven't just been picking up dust and chauffeuring cats around. They've also been mapping the layout of your home. Now, Colin Angle, the chief executive of Roomba maker iRobot, has said he wants to share this data from the maps in order to improve the future of smart home technology. In 2015, iRobot introduced the Roomba 980, its first Wi-Fi connected model. This meant that while a Roomba was quietly whirring around your floors, it was also collecting spatial data using visual location sensors and more. This data helps the Roomba figure out how your home is laid out and adjust cleaning patterns on the fly to deal with things like moved furniture. But Angle thinks it could be used in other ways. There's an entire ecosystem of things and services that the smart home can deliver once you have a rich map of that home and the user has allowed it to be shared. He says the data won't be shared without permission, so that users would give their permission, but they seem to think that most people would give their permission so they could have a smart home, which I put in quotes. What do you think about this?
Well, originally...
And it's funny that it's after the terms and services, so
Yeah. Originally, when this article came out, they were saying your information was going to be sold
Yeah.
to companies. And that everybody went, oh, no. Right? They got upset. And then they had to correct it, and The Verge had to correct it by saying it would be shared.
Yeah, and it says here, Roomba owners can opt out of cloud sharing functions within the iRobot Home app. But technically, the iRobot terms of service and privacy policy say they have the right to share your personal information.
And is it opt out or is it opt in?
Yeah, they say opt out. So it's automatically
Right? So
sharing
there is a huge difference in an opt out versus an opt in.
And it's your home.
Yeah.
Like,
now, mind you, again, here's the thing. What is it sharing? Is it sharing user 1265572D9 home? Is this layout?
or like Jack
Or is it
from Cross Street.
Scott and
Yeah.
Allison's home. Here's their dimensions. Like, there's the difference. Anonymous sharing of information, where the problem is you go down a little bit of a steep slope here.
Yeah.
And
Or if there's a camera.
I'm
There's a lot of...
I'm a little more less shifty on it when it wasn't being sold, so it's a little bit better. But again, depends. Do you want your home connected? Do you want it to be better? Do you want it? I always what do you click when something says, like when Microsoft says you share your stuff with our servers so we can improve Windows? You know what I mean? Like, so where is it?
Never.
Right? So you always say no, right?
Always.
I also think, like, I understand why iRobot wants this information.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why I want to give it to them. I don't see how is that really going to improve my home. I don't get
There is a
it.
reason why it is opt out, not
Yeah.
opt in, because most would not opt in.
Yeah. Or they won't read the terms of service, right? They won't really understand what they're agreeing to.
Mm-hmm.
And this idea that it's going to make your home better, I really don't understand why it's going to make my home better.
I'm waiting for them to. Here's where I'm seeing it going, and it sounds like I'm joking, but I'm not. I'm waiting for it to analyze what the iRobot picks up,
The dirt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and if it's picking up pet hair, having that information sync with Amazon, Google, and start selling me pet products.
Yeah.
Right? If it's picking up whatever it's going to be and analyzing it, like that's where we're going to go to. We noticed that you're picking up a lot of dog hair. We have a great sale on dog food. Like the question is, do you want to get to that point?
Yeah.
Because we're all connected, right? Where You seem to turn the temperature up at your house. So we're getting to that Minority Report.
I don't like
level
it.
type
I don't like
stuff.
it. Yeah, I don't like
Yeah,
it.
it gets a little bit
Creepy.
scary. So you know who could map out our house though and come in anytime they want is Emma. Go to myemma.com for all your email marketing needs. Even though Adam's not ready for the graphic, go to get all
You
your
wait
stuff
for him
you
to
want.
stand up.
I do, because I like doing it, and that's what the show's about. We've given Emma a whole bunch of exclusive content for you to check out. If you do like this show, please go check it out at myemma.com/unpodcast because we do it for you and for the money. That's how it works. They help us, so we want you to help them. All right, let's head over to the rarelycitedpeople.com and talk about this very cool little thing, which was Tinder couple meets for the first time after 3 years of messaging. 2 Kent State University students who matched on Tinder 3 years ago met for the first time in front of an audience of millions. This is people.com. They put an exclamation at the end of the sentence, but I'm not going to go with it.
The other article's about Tinder, too.
Yeah.
It's like Tinder Week and then podcast.
So Josh Avsek, 22, and Michelle Arendas, 21, matched on the dating app on September 20th, 2014, and got into the habit of coming up with hilarious excuses for not responding to one another. After years of back and forth, they finally met on Good Morning America on Tuesday. Separated by a wall, host Michael Strahan and Lara, L-A-R-A? Lara? Mm-hmm. Lara Spencer asked each of them questions about their 3-year courtship and their thoughts on what makes a perfect date. Quote, "This is a dream come true. I can't believe I'm seeing her right now," Avsek said when they both got out of their chairs to lock eyes and hug for the first time. Added Arendas, "This has been unreal." The duo story first made headlines after Avsek posted screenshots of their messages on Twitter in early July, and it quickly went viral. Then someone tagged Arendas into the tweet's thread. It was the first interaction the two had outside of Tinder. "I was like a deer in the headlights because I didn't expect that," Avsek told People. When asked why she never made a move to meet Avsek in real life, despite living on the same campus, Arendas told People, "I'm stubborn, and I wasn't going to be the one to ruin a good joke like that. I'm stubborn, and I'm committed to my sense of humor. That was definitely it for me. I didn't want to be the one to break the joke."
Because they went like a year without talking to each other, and then they would say like, "Oh, sorry, I had to get my phone charger," or
Yeah.
"Oh, sorry, I was in the shower," but a year would pass between.
Yeah, so here's a couple of the messages. She said, "Hey, sorry, my phone died." He replied, "Wow, you found that pretty fast. It usually takes me about 5 months to find my charger." She replies back, "Yeah, I just wanted to make sure it was fully charged, 0 to 100 real slow." And then he replies 2 months later, "Hey, sorry, I was in the shower." And then he goes back and forth. And then he's like, "Sorry, Michelle, I made a horrible first impression. I was catching up with finals." Then she replies 2 months later, "I really do apologize for just now getting back to you, but busy week." He replies 7 months later, "Michelle, I don't want you to think I'm rude. Midterms are coming up and it's just really hard." She replies 4 months later, "Just want to get back to you." So that was a joke. And Tinder saw it and said, "Hey." And they actually ended to send them to
On a trip or something,
Hawaii,
right?
to Hawaii. Yeah. So his screenshot of it got retweeted 36,000 times and liked 112,000 times on Twitter. So that was
I think, is that our first ever Tinder story on the UnPodcast?
Might
Maybe
be.
we've mentioned it once
yeah.
before.
Yeah, we met on the Tweeter,
Yeah, we didn't.
but they met on the Tinder.
Too old for Tinder. This is a story about Snapchat. So it's from WashingtonPost.com. We're just talking about the kids today.
It's all
Little
about the
Tinder,
kids.
little Snapchat.
It's all about the millennials.
6 middle fingers on Snapchat led to disqualification of Junior League softball team.
That should lead to a meeting at a doctor if you have 6 middle fingers. I'm sorry.
A girls' softball team from Virginia paid a steep price for a lesson about social media. After a victory, think twice about gloating over your opponent on their home turf, especially if the chosen method of gloating is posting a photo on social media of 6 teammates flipping the bird under the caption, "Watch out, host." 12 to 14-year-old girls who make up the Junior League softball team were disqualified from the nationally televised championship game at the Junior League World Series in Washington after one team member posted the photo on her Snapchat account before their game Friday. The team apologized Saturday, even asking for an investigation into the game, but it was too late to repair the damage the image had caused. What do you think about this, Scott? Obviously, this is huge, like a big punishment, right, to be removed. This is a big deal. Like, it's nationally televised. It's a big deal.
My first thought is, I'm just so happy I'm not a teenager in these days. That what we did when we
Yep.
right, when we were younger,
Yeah, thank goodness.
there is no digital record of it. There are just printed photos with negatives that were chosen to be shown. Like we didn't have this.
Yeah.
So, and when you were 12 to 14, your brain is different, right? And then having this impact of something what you don't, your job as somebody who is, and we have kids in the behind the glass here who are of that age range right now. Your job isn't to think of consequences outside of your world. That's
I think
just what you
especially
do.
on Snapchat, because I think there's this
Supposed to be
feeling that
private,
it's
yeah.
private, but it's also it's going to go away.
Right.
Like it's not permanent. It's this idea that like someone had to see that in a certain time frame, right?
I understand teaching about sportsmanship. And this
Absolutely.
is you're literally yelling F you at the other team. Like that's what you're doing. That's what it means.
It's not good for sure.
It's immature and it's
As you would expect
of
from a
cour-
12
of
to
course,
14-year-old.
Of course. And it's competition and they played really hard to disqualify the whole team.
From a huge event.
And then the team you just beat then gets to play in the finals.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who also got trounced in the finals.
And it was the entire team due to the posting of one child.
One child and not the whole team was giving the finger. So you play all year. That I think the punishment was way too harsh.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think you make them Snapchat an apology. You make them write an apology. You make them stand up and say that was dumb. I'm sorry. It's good sportsmanship. But what does a disqualification do? Like what purpose does it serve? That kids can't be kids.
Yeah.
That it's bad. If somebody gave somebody the finger in the the hand the lineup and stuff, things get heated. Things get crazy. I play in an old fat guy softball league. Like it happens in the spirit of competition. And if if the teams you didn't think were being on the up and up, and you got really this is their year. I think it's heavy-handed.
And they're not even in high school yet.
No,
like
it's
they're really
heavy.
kids.
It's heavy-handed.
It also wasn't even in a game.
Right. It was right. It was after the game. It was dumb. Yeah, it was dumb. But you also have to take it in context. Some narc took a screenshot, right, and shared it with people. And
my
said,
concern
look,
too. Oh, sorry.
and they said, look, and again, I think if it was public, it's also a little more severe if they tweeted it publicly. If they put it out publicly, that's one thing. But it was supposed to be done in a private. Now, it doesn't mean you should be able to do or say what you want in a Snapchat channel. We had a famous case 6-7 months ago of the model who took a photo of the woman in the change room in the gym naked, and she just got charged because she's found guilty in court just a month ago for doing it. You shouldn't be exempt from rules and laws and taste.
Yeah.
Because it's potentially private. But this is so your bigger lesson obviously is never put something on Snapchat, never put anything digitally or anything that you don't want to see out in public.
I think there's a little bit here that's important to note is that there had been problems with the team before that.
Mm-hmm.
So this was not, I think that's important. This was not like this wonderful sportsman-like team that then did this one thing and they got in trouble. There were other incidents of harassment by the team in the past.
And by the team that did the picture or by the team
by the team that did the picture.
Yeah.
So it was not...
It could be progressive too then,
exactly.
right? Yeah.
So I just think that's important to note.
Yeah.
And I think also it's possible that the association, that Little League International was concerned about airing this on national television and then having the story go along with it and saying like that the Little League condones little girls giving people the finger. Like I think it was probably a lot of things coming together that caused the severe reaction.
But like you literally did the worst punishment you could do.
Yeah.
There's no higher than that.
Yeah.
So if if their team jumped the other team,
The coach were ejected from a past game. Like,
well, I don't know. I know. I get it.
yeah, they might have already done some punishments.
I yelled
leading
at
up.
I yelled at a 7-year-old at a soccer game because he pushed Aiden.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I also know it happens, but there's no more severe. And this is it's from the HR days, right? It's progressive discipline.
Yeah.
There's no more than fired.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like this is the same punishment if they all jumped the other team and beat them up, other than police charges and everything else. But there's no more severe punishment, and it's the finger.
I think they need some new leadership, though, because if one of their coaches and things were ejected because of insults and harassment, obviously they're setting the tone for these athletes, and the team probably needs some work.
Yeah, I get it. So yeah, I think it was too much, but I think they do something. But yeah, you just took away their whole thing.
So this story is from a site called pizzabottle.com, something I would never say. I never thought I would say. Another of our student young people stories, it says, students came up with a genius way to take notes and it'll change college forever. I love this story, and I love Google Docs. We use Google Docs when we're writing books. I'm sure that all of you will tell me a million other apps that I could use to do it, but I like Google Docs and it works well for me. I like it. And also some of our kids use it for school so that like if we're in different
Google
places,
Classroom, yeah.
I think it's fantastic. So it says, when you're a college student, there's nothing more stressful than trying to make sure you take the right notes in order to be prepared for exams and finals. I'm not sure that statement is true. I think there are more stressful things, but okay. Well, most professors don't really don't really care if you understand the content. Seriously, there are times when you will be sitting in a lecture hall saying, what the actual F's going on? Well, have no fear, because these students just changed the way you are going to want to take notes forever. It's true that when you reach college, you're finally granted the permission to have electronic devices in class. And it says, this makes taking notes 10 times easier because if we all took type to learn in 5th grade and are better at typing than we are at writing. So they're just saying, like, in grade school, you're not allowed to have a computer. In high school, you're not allowed to have a computer. But in university, you can sit there with your laptop. And so not only can you take your laptop in or your tablet in to take your notes, but the class is going together using Google Docs and taking notes together. So it says they use Google Docs, a Google version of Microsoft Word that allows you to share documents with several people and work together on creating the notes for the semester. They were able to make remarks, ask questions, and even add things to the master notes for the course. How cool is that? And also, as a professor, you can provide master notes, and then they can add things. And Google Docs has a great comments thing, so you know who's adding the comments to it. I think it's brilliant. I wish I had this. My hand at the end of a class would be like, you're shaking your hand because you've written so many notes. You may not have had that experience.
I hated students having laptops when I was teaching in college.
The sound?
No, the distraction.
Yeah.
I love this.
Yeah.
If it's a community of notes, sure. But most of the time it wasn't.
But this way, if you start off this way, theoretically, a teacher could provide notes that they're lecturing from, and then you would have the notes and you could add things to it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that in theory. I just don't trust the execution of it most of the time. It's this distraction of it, watching and reading the notes and adding stuff to it. It's just like, and I totally get it, because one of it is like, if they're not of the personality, they want to shoot their hand up and ask for clarification, then I love that. I love the thought of it. It's just the distraction of having a screen in front of you.
I can imagine,
really hurts discussion, and I think discussion helps learning.
Yeah, but if you have 200 people in your class,
totally different.
Nobody's discussing anything. Like you taught in pretty small classes.
Yeah.
Like most of my classes were hundreds of people.
Yeah,
so
I had 30,
although the din, the sound, I can't even imagine what this, because we didn't have, most people, there was the occasional person who had a laptop when I was in university. Most people didn't. So like what I can't even imagine what it must sound like. It must be just kind of a constant chitter of typing. But I would have loved something like this.
1,000 atoms.
Because it was like so much, we got so much information in most of the classes.
Yeah.
They weren't discussion based. It was a teacher going through hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of bits of information.
I haven't heard Adam typing in a while though. Are you typing?
No, why
quieter?
would he type?
Oh, there you go. I can hear it now. I wasn't hearing it before, so I thought he just learned how to type quiet. Got a soft keyboard to make it work.
I think it would be weird in like a tutorial. Like, so we would have big classes and then we'd have tutorials where you would go and it would only be like 30 people.
Yeah.
That would be weird.
And that's what I taught.
Yeah.
I had 30 to 40 students.
That would be weird.
It was like a semicircle.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be discussion based.
But we had hundreds of people.
Yeah. Well, some of us couldn't go to those schools.
Some of us didn't try.
Hi-yo! On that note, let's make up a word.
Don't make any sense. Don't mean no offense. It brings laziness. What is all this craziness?
Each week you bring us a word. I was right out of the gate.
Is
wrong.
that your made up word?
The horse stumbled right out of the gate. Just boom. Each week we talk about a made up word because, well, we find them ridiculous and usually used in the business sense, but sometimes just straight in the world. You run across and go, what? Well, when you see that, send it to us. And if we pick your word, you get your pick of book. Hopefully that we wrote.
Yeah, one of our books.
Would be nice.
I'm not sending you someone else's book.
And if we pick your word, you're responsible to drop us a line, and then we'll send you your book of choice. This week's made-up word is from Greg Barrett, a fan of the show, Ovs. And his word, it's not Ovs, it is nomophobe. Nomophobe. P-H-O-B-E. Nomophobe. Wayne.
No phobias?
Wayne thinks it's no phobias. The children have any?
Nope.
All right.
No?
Crickets.
Kathy? Nothing. Adam?
I'd agree with Wayne, I guess. I don't know.
Adam's going to agree with Wayne. You just, people stunk the past
I
2
can't
weeks.
really think of what NOMO would be. It's definitely a fear of something, but I don't
It's-
know what a NOMO.
it's
What's a
the
NOMO?
fear of having no phone.
Oh, no mobile. No mobile.
Or it's nomophobe. So it's nomophone. I got nomophone. Nomophone.
Is this guy British?
That is scary. I do like to have my phone.
Think of it. I think everybody is a nomophobe.
Fair enough.
Right?
Yeah.
Wayne, have you ever lost your phone?
Yep. I'm terrible with phones. I break them, I lose them.
Break the, and what's the feeling when you lose a phone? Like, is it
Yeah, it's a little bit weird because I
Adam?
live by my phone,
Yeah.
my schedule.
Right.
etc.
I've never lost my phone.
You've never lost your phone?
Substantially,
No, I could have guessed that. Adam's always perfect. Kathy?
I lost my phone for 10 minutes.
10 minutes, and
Yeah, it was scary.
it was right up there. One of some of the worst 10 minutes ever, right?
I have two. No, I'm sure there are more stories, but I have two stories of losing my phone and Scott coming to my rescue and finding them. There are two of my favorite stories about Scott. One, he ran down a New York taxi. I'm not kidding. And this was before he was a runner. And he sprinted and got my phone out of a New York taxi. And the second one, we were at Disney and I left it in the one of the rides. And I thought I was just like, I'm like ready to accept that I don't have a phone. And he ran it down and found it in Disney and brought it back to me. So, and I've lost it more times than that. And I've broken it many, many times. So yeah,
It's everything, right?
it's just, to me, what I think of is the hassle of it. I'm like,
Yeah.
when I lose it, it's like losing your wallet. Then you're thinking like, oh, I got to get all my cards again and I'm going to have to get this
Right.
again and that. The phone is the same thing. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to go and get a new phone and I'm not going to be able to reach the kids.
At
And
the very least, though, a lot of stuff is backed up remotely, though, now. So it's not
Yeah.
as bad as before, where you had to start
lost all
again.
your pictures.
If you go
and-
like for
yeah.
an iPhone, you go into the iCloud backup if you have it.
Yeah.
And it's like your phone's just there again.
Yeah.
And I remember in the BlackBerry days, years ago, landing in New Jersey at Newark with a connecting flight, and my phone just stopped working. I didn't lose it, but I might as well. It was just a brick.
Yeah.
It wouldn't turn on.
And you didn't know where you're going,
I
right?
didn't know my connecting flight.
Yeah.
I didn't know your phone number, my
Yeah.
phone number. I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
I don't know your phone number.
Yeah.
It's if I can trigger it somehow if I start off with it, but I don't know it.
And it's like an easy phone number to know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I know my old phone number at home when I was 12.
I don't know your phone number either.
Like I know my mom's phone number from the house because that's what you had. You had to learn the phone numbers
It's
then.
just so many things. Like it's your
everything.
contacts,
Yeah.
it's your calendar, it's everything, right? So it makes sense to have that fear. I feel like that's a pretty valid fear.
If I lose it, I lose my high score on Space Frontier right now. Like it's tragic.
You're just trying to keep up with the kids with that game.
I can't. I just can't. That's okay. All right, kids, go out and play. It's
Thanks for
still summer
listening.
in this hemisphere. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye, guys.
Be sure to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes and visit theunpodcast.com. And remember, friends don't let friends use QR codes.